Hello, listeners. Welcome back to Mastering English with Podcasts. I'm Raizel.
And I'm Ricky. Today, we're excited to dive into the relaxing and rewarding hobby of gardening.
Gardening is a wonderful way to connect with nature, and it's also a fantastic opportunity to learn new English vocabulary, phrases, and phrasal verbs.
Absolutely. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Mastering English with Podcasts. Like, share, and leave a comment with your questions. Your support helps us grow and bring you more great content.
Let's start with some essential gardening vocabulary.
Vocabulary Builder.
Our first word is seedling, means a young plant that has grown from a seed.
Example: I planted some seedlings in my garden last week.
Our next word is germination, means the process by which a seed develops into a new plant.
Example: germination usually occurs in the spring when the temperatures are warmer.
Our final word is pruning, means cutting away dead or overgrown branches to encourage healthy growth.
Example: pruning your roses will help them grow better and produce more flowers. Now, let's look at some useful gardening phrases.
Phrases.
Our first phrase is green thumb, means a natural talent for growing plants.
Example: my grandmother has a green thumb. Everything she plants thrives.
Our next phrase is in full bloom, means when flowers are fully open and at their most beautiful stage.
Example: the garden is in full bloom and it looks stunning.
Our final phrase is bear fruit, means to produce positive results, literally or figuratively.
Example: all your hard work in the garden will bear fruit by the end of the season.
Let's move on next segment. Picture discussion.
Picture discussion.
Moving on to our next segment, let's look at this picture. Here we see a lady watering her garden outdoors. Her garden is full of plants, making her outdoor space lush and vibrant.
This picture is perfect for discussing more gardening-related vocabulary and phrases in context.
For instance, she's watering in her plants. This means to water plants immediately after planting them to help them settle. Example: after you transplant the seedlings, make sure to water them in to give them a good start.
It looks like she has a green thumb. Everything in her garden is thriving.
Yes, and we can also say that her garden is in full bloom, meaning the flowers are fully open and looking beautiful. Example: look at those roses in full bloom. They add so much color to the garden.
Her efforts in the garden will surely bear fruit. This means that her hard work will produce positive results, like a beautiful garden or even vegetables and fruits. Example: if you take good care of your plants, your garden will bear fruit in no time.
She's also made good use of compost to enrich her soil. Compost is decayed organic material used as a plant fertilizer. Example: adding compost to your soil can really help your plants grow stronger and healthier.
And notice how she's carefully using a trowel to dig small holes for planting. A trowel is a small hand tool with a pointed blade, very useful in gardening. Example: use a trowel to dig a hole for your seedlings.
Now, let's move on to practical usage of the words we've learned today.
Practical usage.
For example, you might say, I spent the weekend pruning my rose bushes. They were getting too wild.
Or, I've planted some new seedlings, and I'm excited to see them grow.
Another example could be, after the seeds germinate, you should transfer the seedlings to a bigger pot.
And don't forget, using compost can really improve your soil quality.
Let's use some phrases. My neighbor definitely has a green thumb. Her garden is always in full bloom.
After years of hard work, their orchard finally began to bear fruit.
Now it's time for our favorite segment, Audience Questions. We love hearing from you, so keep those questions coming.
Audience questions.
Our first question is from Maria in Spain. Maria, what's your question? Hi, Raizel and Ricky. I love your podcast. My question is, what's the difference between pruning and trimming? Great question, Maria. Pruning involves cutting away dead or overgrown branches to encourage healthy growth, while trimming is more about shaping the plant for aesthetic purposes. For example, I pruned the rose bushes to remove the dead branches, and then I trimmed them to give them a nice shape.
Our next question comes from John in Canada. John, go ahead.
Hi, how do I use the phrase green thumb in a sentence?
Good one, John. You can say, my friend has a green thumb. Every plant she touches seems to thrive.
And our final question today is from Aisha in Kenya. Aisha, what's your question?
Hi, everyone. Can you explain bear fruit in more detail?
Absolutely, Aisha. Bear fruit means to produce positive results. It can be used literally, like when a tree produces fruit, or figuratively, like when hard work leads to success. For example, all your hard work studying will bear fruit when you pass your exams.
Thanks for those fantastic questions. And remember, if you have more questions, leave them in the comments. We might feature them in our next episode.
That's all for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed learning about gardening vocabulary and phrases.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Mastering English with Podcasts. Like, share, and leave a comment with your questions. It really helps us grow and bring you more content.
Thanks for listening, and until next time, happy gardening.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you next time.